How you going, everyone? Thanks for your time. I've got a hot pink presentation for you, so hopefully we'll wake you guys up. I saw Murray was sleeping before over there, so hopefully Murray's... I'll keep you awake this time. So location, Esperance, just north of Esperance, we've got two main projects there. Splinter Rock on the right-hand side and the Grass Patch project on the left-hand side. Both looking for rare earths. They've been found in that area in the past, and I'll go through that shortly. But to give you a bit of a size and scale on that Splinter Rock project, that's about the size of the Australian Capital Territory. So already bigger than the Canberra, and the Grass Patch isn't far off it as well. So plenty of size there, close to existing ports. Esperance is a mining port and also an agricultural port. So there's iron ore going out of there, there's a whole heap of different grains and wheat and cereals going out of there as well, along with a few other different commodities as well. So near a port, near roads, and we're chasing rare earths. Everyone talks rare earths, they're normally talking NdPr, which is neopretium and praseodymium. So I won't try and say that too many times, but we'll say NdPr or rare earths. Why are we interested in rare earths? Well, lithium's always the flavour of the month at the moment. Prices are through the roof, but to run all these electric vehicles, the wind turbines and everything else, you need these high-powered magnets. And those magnets, there's about 2 kilos that go into an EV and about 500 kilos that go into a wind turbine. So massive forecast demand going from 50,000 tonnes up to 250,000 tonnes over the next 15, 20 years type thing. So big annual growth. But the key is there's not too many mines in the world, and I'll touch on the mines on the next slide, but there's a massive market imbalance that's forecast going forward. So we're going to need multiple mines, not just from Australia, but from around the world to actually meet these EV demands going forward, and also the consumer products out there as well. So your little smart tablets that are there, your little earbuds that go on your head, even your reverse cycle air conditioner, they all use NdPr magnets in there. Where does current supply come from? China. So the Chinese were smart, they've been developing this industry, sort of looking forward for a fair while. They've also got a little bit coming out of Myanmar as well, but Australia's really only got Lynas. That's an operational mine in Australia. So that's the opportunity there. Lots of demand, supply. We need multiple mines coming out of not just Australia, but around the world as well to make this happen. And the governments are looking, Tesla's looking, all the other major players in the world are looking for these rare earth supplies, and also to be green. So being in Esperance, there's lots of wind down there. If you've ever been down to Esperance, it does blow a fair bit. There's also solar, and then Twiggy's down there looking at a hydrogen plant. So quite a big little hydrogen plant down there. So for us, what can we become? Potentially a green rare earth supplier that suddenly ticks a lot of the boxes going into the European car markets. Why are we looking at it? So about 15 years ago, the guys we've got our 3 directors or 3 ex-directors looked at the data that was in the mines department. So they've gone and mined the old information from 10 to 15 years ago to figure out, is there any resources that have been forgotten about to a large extent. So here we go, there's a 30-kilometre cross-section there. It's hit 1,000 plus trio, so 0.1% total rare earths grades in multiple different locations across that whole area. So we've got an area that's 30 to 60 kilometres in width. It's all, we believe it's coming from the granites that have been then weathered over multiple millions of years into the clays. So some of the largest known target areas. And there's some historic results. So we've just finished drilling now, and I'll touch on that in a sec, but we've virtually done an infill program on these areas here. So you can see we're not just 2 or 3 metres in thickness, we're between 10 to 37 metres in thickness, which is some of the thickest intercepts that you'll actually see in the rare earth industry, and it's clay hosted rather than hard rock. So the hard rock, a little bit higher grades, but a bit more expensive to process and more capital. The clay-based ones, lower grades, but because it's already down into bug dust effectively, easier to process, easier to recover as well. So we've got multiple areas there. That's a 10-kilometre scale that you can see on the side there. So that there. So you can see high-grade cut-offs in purple there, 750 ppm plus, and the red ones are 300 ppm plus. And this is just obviously a historic line. We don't even know if this is the best locations yet. But what we're looking for is areas like this, low stripping ratios, these are low stripping ratios as well, and high grades to obviously get stuck into things. We've got a drill program, so we've just finished nearly 6,000 metres of drilling over just under 192 holes was done in the end, over 100 kilometres in length. So not only have we done the length coming down historically, but we've also done a new line on existing roads. So we've limited ourselves from just listing on the ASX in June this year to getting on the roads, getting some quick results out there, and then getting some flyover information, which I'll touch on in a moment, to look at where the next best spots are to actually go drill. So we'll get some good results. They're imminent. We're obviously waiting on the labs. The program's there, so if you're a punter, there's a good punt there for you potentially. What else are we doing? We've also got a plane up in the air down there at the moment, so he's going to be down there for the next 2 to 3 weeks. They're going to be doing these electromagnetics, and effectively what they're looking to do is identify the clay locations, the expanse, the depth, and then the thickness across the whole set of tenements. And remember, we're dealing with the size of Australian Capital Territory here, so we're trying to narrow down to the best parts so that have the lowest cover ratios and the thickest arrangements. It's not going to tell us if there's actually rare earths in the ground, but it'll tell you where the clays are at least. And why are we doing that? We've done some work with CSIRO to reprocess 3 old lines that are there. So those white lines there, and there's a cross-section looking in the middle here. So we know there's a drill hole there. That drill hole there is 32 metres of trio at over 1,000 ppm. So 32 metres, that's a big, thick intersection. I'm not sure you'll find too many other people will get those. And then what we've been able to do is with the airplane that flies across, it's looking for conductivity. So if anything's not conductive, like a granite or a rock, it won't hold the water, so it's generally not conductive. So that shows you where the granites are. And the conductive areas generally are the saline areas. Clay holds lots of water, and generally saline water in those areas. So effectively what that's doing is telling us, on that slide there, there's 8 kilometres of potential strike length of clays in that area there. So this was in conjunction with CSIRO that we've done it. We're now flying 400 metre spacings. These ones were 20 kilometre spacings. So we're actually really narrowing it down to then be able to target the best zones that have the lowest strip ratios, as you might see there, going forward. We've also got another tenement or another area, the grass patch I mentioned at the front. So this is our sort of the Splinter Rocks, the flagship. Grass patch is our secondary project. It's got some of the highest NdPr or rare earth elements found in water in the areas, or in Australia actually. So there's a reason that's there. We've got to figure out what that reason is. We've got to figure out what the sources are. We're also flying that area there, and that'll be done in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll get the results on that, and that will actually help us inform the best parts to actually target at grass patch. So plan work program, there's 2 slides here. So there's a time frame slide here. This is, we obviously just listed in June. We've already completed the drilling, the geophysics, so the clay mapping, so the plane's flying on both projects at the moment. We get into the assay results that will come out. We'll get the MET testing coming through, and then straight into some more infill drilling resources and scoping studies. So that gives you the timing there. And here's a really hot pink one, so hopefully everyone's awake by now. Drilling, done. Clay mapping, happening. Metallurgical testing is going to drive a lot of these projects going forward. It's not necessarily the most simple processing technique, but for us it'll be effectively dig it out of the ground like a mineral sands mine or a alumina mine, stick acid in it in a leach set of reactors like a CIP, CIL you'll see in the goldfields. It'll sit in there for 3 to 6 hours, and then hopefully we'll then get 50 to 70% recoveries is what we're looking for. That's generally what's being seen in the market at the moment in those areas. We then separate the solids from the liquids, and then the liquids will hold the rare earths in them, and that's what we then produce to a concentrate. That concentrate then gets sold into the next step markets effectively, or hopefully a downstream processing market, because the world's screaming out for other downstream processes outside of China. In terms of the corporate snapshot, so the board there, my background, I've actually developed things. I've taken it from this phase, virtually working out of your house, through to actually developing a mine, constructing it, raising hundreds of millions of dollars to actually from debt and equity side of things. So from that background, that's myself. I'm also a metallurgist and developer of not just a potash mine, but also iron ore mines and copper mines as well. There's a couple of other smart people up there as well, so Dr. Darren Holden and also Dr. Mitch Lone. So one's a smart geoscientist that obviously has pulled a lot of this together, and Dr. Mitch Lone's also a chemist as well, a metallurgist. So smart from that. And I can't forget Piers, who's sitting over there. He's a smart accountant apparently, so we'll see how he goes. So really tight structure, 100 million shares on the market, so we're not a billion share type plus shell or anything else like that. We've held up reasonably well from what's been a choppy period since we've listed, so we're sitting at about 19 cents at the moment. We've got $7 million in cash as at the end of the quarter, so we're not looking for any money anytime soon, and we're actually going to have some really good drill results. So what does that mean? $12 million enterprise value for something that we know there's some rare earths out there. We've just got to figure out how much is out there. I think we've got an elephant by the tail. When you start talking multiple tens of kilometres in one direction or another, we could have a big resource out there, and we'll obviously do that and delineate that over the next 12 to 18 months. So key highlights, lots of demand out there at the moment. So think lithium, think rare earths, we need lots of demand for cars. I've just brought myself a little Tesla as well, so I'm helping contribute to the demand. So there's 2 kilos that I've just contributed. Drilling's confirmed, we've just done some, we've seen lots of clays. Now, is there any grade in clays? We don't know yet, but we'll hopefully see there. But the historic results show that there was 32 metres in some of the holes at over 1,000 ppm. Airborne geophysics will hopefully target us going forward to where the best, lowest or shallowest, thickest areas are going forward, and that's going to be across all of our tenements. And then, as I say, 30 by 60 kilometre areas, if we can narrow that down to a 10 kilometre by 10 kilometre area with 10 to 20 metres in thickness, you suddenly get hundreds of millions of tonnes. And we don't have to put any money in for infrastructure, so there's already Esperance Port there, there's already roads there, we're in big ticks in the boxes there. And finally, if we can then harness the wind energy, if we can then harness solar, and then hydrogen is also in the area as well, we can actually be a green player producing rare earths sustainably, that then feeds into obviously cars and everything else, so the Europeans will hopefully come knocking on our doors. And I will mention there's a couple of other guys in the area as well, so Mika Minerals, Mount Ridley and Heavy Rare Earths. So this is actually turning into a province, and hopefully there's a couple of us that get up and running and we can actually get a downstream processing facility situated in Esperance to actually start producing some of these materials going forward. There you go. What you got?